Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 31st chapter, text number 40. Yopayati Shanairmaya Yoshideva Vinirmita Tamikshetatmano Mrityum Tranaikupam Ivavritam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The woman created by the Lord is a representation of Maya, and one who associates with such Maya by accepting services must certainly know that this is the way of death, just like a blind well covered with grass. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sometimes it happens that a rejected well is covered by grass, and an unwary traveler who does not know of the existence of well falls down, and his death is assured. Similarly, association with a woman begins when one accepts service from her, because woman is especially created by the Lord to give service to man. By accepting her service, a man is entrapped. If he is not intelligent enough to know that she is the gateway to hellish life, he may indulge in her association very liberally. This is restricted for those who aspire to ascend to the transcendental platform. Even 50 years ago in Hindu society, such association was restricted. A wife could not see her husband during the daytime. Householders even had different residential quarters. The internal quarters of a residential house were for the woman, and the external quarters were for the man. Acceptance of service rendered by a woman may appear very pleasing, but one should be very cautious in accepting such service, because it is clearly said that woman is the gateway to death or forgetfulness of oneself. She blocks the path of spiritual realization. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport.
So every thing stated herein is a caution for any transcendentalist. That means anybody who wants to realize who he is, that he is not matter, he is spirit. For such a person, this association with woman in the form of accepting services from her is said to be the way of death. Kupam iva avritam, just like a covered well, the form of the woman represents the perfect form of rendering service to a man. This principle Prabhupada explains here very clearly. In the absolute scheme of things, there is Prakriti and Purusha. And Prakriti serves Purusha. Actually, there is only one absolute Purusha, that is Krishna, and his unlimited expansions. Unlimited expansions. That is Purusha Tattva. There is Prakriti, is his different energies which are meant to give service unto him. So in that context, these principles of receiving service, the object that receives service, and the object that renders service, is represented by male and female form respectively. Just like Prabhupada explained, the Adi Rasa is the highest rasa, the conjugal rasa between the Supreme Lord and his own Vladani Shakti, Srimati Radharani. The same principles, in a small way, is what is acting here also between a soul entrapped in a male body and a soul entrapped in a female body. A soul entrapped in a male body is thinking he is male. The soul entrapped in female body is thinking she is female. So if the female gives surrendered service to a male, then in this world, then it is a perfect imitation of the Adi Rasa. Therefore, it is called the highest Maya. So, to have a woman fully surrendered to man in this world is the biggest Maya. Surrendered, serving, the biggest Maya. A very fine Maya. And why is it considered to be a death for the soul? Because it puts the both parties into full bodily concept, into full illusion that they are this body. And they can extract rasa. This Adi Rasa can be extracted. They develop that hope. So naturally, that is the highest Maya. In this material world, imitation of Prakriti Purusha perfect relationship is a cause of entanglement. Our position is to serve the Supreme Prakriti, Radharani, who in turn is serving the Purusha, Krishna. That is the soul's constitutional position. Become the servant of the Lord. So we have to accept these truths, that life in this material world is designed for a certain purpose. It is designed to put one in Maya. The rasas of this world are meant to put one in Maya. Everything is Maya rasa here in this material world. So a devotee who knows that this is the way God has designed this, the material world is meant for enjoying Maya rasa. And if I have decided I don't want Maya rasa, I want Krishna rasa, I want Bhakti rasa. If he has decided, then he should keep away from these things, because these things are very well known to be designed by the Creator to induce Maya Rasa in us, in the living entity, forgetfulness. It is meant for that. So therefore, one very respectfully keeps away from these kind of effects. Material world is full of effects. Man is an effect, woman is an effect. Man is not a man, woman is not a woman. There is no man as a reality, there is no woman as a reality. It is an effect. Manliness is an effect, womanliness is an effect. Man's form is an effect, woman's form is an effect. Because it doesn't last, no? Where it lasts? Young man becomes old man. Young woman becomes old woman. So the form itself is not, and finally at the time of death, form is vanishing into the earth. The body is burnt, everything vanishes. So very clear that the form is an effect. And when the form is there, when the living entity is trapped in that bodily form, there is an effect of an ego, false ego, that is also an effect. Where is your boy ego? It is given up and the old man ego is now in you. That means even that ego is also an effect. Anything that comes and goes is called effect, not substance, not vastu. Anything that comes and goes is called effect. What subsists is called tattva. Exists, is truth. The Vedic philosophy never says that you exclude any truth. The Vedic philosophy does not say you run away from truth. We don't want to run away from a male Atma or the Atma in the male or an Atma in the female. Nobody wants to run away. Nobody is afraid of the Atma in the female body. But you should be afraid of the female ego and the female body, which is effect. So we don't hate anybody. We don't hate females. But we know that the effect around that soul, the female effect, is designed for you to, designed by the Lord, is given as a weapon in the hands of Maya to pull the living entity fully into bodily concept. It's just like a, North Pole and South Pole. It's designed to be attract each other. It will design attract each other. Similarly, same way you should think it's a law of nature, male ego and female ego. Especially if the female ego is wanting to serve and the male ego wants to be served. Perfect Maya. A surrendered wife and a very generous husband receiving the services, people think that is the best combination. If you get married. But as per this verse, finished. She blocks the path of self-realization. Then one may say, why it is only one-sided gender-biased thing? That's the next question, because modern thinking is too complicated. All full of perversions from the absolute point of view. Why it is only one-sided? Why this word did not say The man created by the Lord is a representation of Maya. And a woman who associates with such a man by accepting services must certainly be known that that is the way to death. Just like blind well covered with grass. That's not what he's saying. Looks like it's very clearly one-sided. You take it in this way. We have to take it in this way. That Atma is, none of these verses are referring to the soul. There is no inequality of treatment of one soul to another soul. But definitely there is a differences. There is a difference in microphone and table in the same way. There are differences in a man mind-body system and a woman body system. There is a difference. But that difference is clearly explained here as the one who renders service, the other one who receives service. It's very clearly defined. So today most of the women don't want to render service to men. So overall Maya is coming down. As Kali Yuga is progressing in one sense, for transcendentalists, that fine effect of Maya that is described here, of a surrendered woman, you hardly find. So it's a great time for self-realization. Huh? But unfortunately it is not so. Because there is another factor that plays in. Earlier men were very fine. They were not so much in bodily concept. They were at least next level, they were in ego concept, false ego concept. So if they are in false ego concept, they will feel the whole world, no, there is no, I am not getting any good false ego to surrender to me. But today men are in gross bodily concept. So much in gross bodily concept. Therefore today's Maya is between gross body and gross body. So man has progressed, so-called progress he has made, the average man has become more and more gross in his bodily concept of life. Therefore Maya knows, oh, now I have to have women who are more bodily concept. And therefore you see, it is all about bodily relationships. Because that is also reality. Body is a reality. Male body attracts female body attracts male body. Male ego attracts female ego attracts male ego. So either way, any of these levels, at the body level, at emotional level, at intellectual level, at ego level, we have got 4 layers of self. This material body has got 4 layers of selves. Bodily self, emotional self, intellectual self, and ego self. So this false ego, at false ego level, yes, taking service, nice, humble, and from another ego, surrendered service is Maya. Come to emotional level. You depend on somebody to be an emotional shelter who is opposite sex. Because they are made, they are designed, their mind is designed, at least more inclined towards giving love, being kind, taking care, all these things. So moment you plug your mind, your male mind to a female mind who gives all these things, that is at that level there is Maya. You're trapped. And then at the gross level, same thing. This attraction becomes a kind of sense gratification. That sense gratification, there is a rasa there. There is a rasa. Touching, playing, these are all rasa, frivolous rasa. So at gross level, at emotional level, at intellectual level, at ego level, at all four levels, this association between male and female operates. You may avoid at one level, just like people say, no Prabhu, it's all platonic love. I don't have anything like that. That was pure friendship. Correct, that is the biggest problem. That is a greater problem than having gross thing. That's a greater problem. That's what Shastra is saying, that friendship is at the ego level, no? That is a bigger problem. So this science of Bhagavatam is unfailing. Warnings are warnings. If we accept these things as absolute truth, then we will be saved. So same thing applies to, at the ego level, it applies to somebody who, an Atma in a woman's body, is taking service from others, service from a man. That means the ego roles have reversed. So you can say the ideal situation for a woman, for a soul in a woman's body, is to render service to a man. In the material sense, render service to a man and not receive service from a soul in a man's body. So a soul in a woman's body, if she receives service from a man, from a soul in a man's body, this equation is same thing, because at the ego level it is the same thing. One has taken Purusha role and the other has taken Prakriti role. So the only solution for this is the soul in the man's body and the soul in a woman's body should exclusively serve Krishna. There's a solution. There is a solution. That is devotional service. So it does not make soul in a man's body can fall into Maya, soul in a woman's body can fall into Maya by thinking that I shall be served. I shall enjoy the rasa of receiving service. Service at different levels. Gross level. Service means what? Service means somebody gives pleasure is called service. Somebody gives gross pleasure is called gross service. Somebody gives pleasure to your emotional body, that is also called service. Somebody at intellectual plane gives service, rasa, that is another rasa. Oh, how clever you are, how intelligent you are, how smart you are. You praise the intelligence. That is at that level, rasa. Oh yeah, I am very intelligent. I am a genius. A service given at the ego level is a different kind of a praise. They say massaging ego. Use the word, no? Oh, you go and massage his ego. So ego also has pleasure. Or you say go and burn his ego. You can go and burn his ego also. Massage ego, burn ego. So the solution is to redirect all our tendencies of rasa in rendering service to Guru and Krishna. Now just see how so difficult it is to be a Guru. You see that? Why? Because Guru is a jiva. Right? Guru is a jiva. And jiva's constitutional position is not to take service. Taking service means maya. And what is Guru's job? To take service. So unless one is empowered by the Lord, that is why he said the Guru is as good as God. God has entered into him. Unless he allows God to enter into him and take the services, then he will enjoy what is being given. He will drink poison. Taking service from another jiva is poison. You should know all that. Very fundamental fact. Taking service from another jiva is poison, spiritual poison for a jiva. Let's say Guru's job is like Shiva drinking poison. Shiva had the capacity to drink that poison. It's called Nilakanta. Because he held the poison in his neck. The poison that came out of the churning of the ocean. So Shiva has a capacity to hold it. Suppose ordinary person tries to take that poison and imitate Shiva, what will happen? He will die. So anybody who tries to imitate Prabhupada will die. Because it's a fact. Because as per the parampara, as per this Krishna conscious philosophy, Guru means has to receive service. He is a via media to pass on the service of the jiva to Krishna. Just like Prabhupada, going on whole life meditating on giving pleasure to Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur. Going on meditating on giving pleasure to. The parampara goes on. And he tries to go on giving pleasure to his guru, to his guru, to his guru, his guru. Not only it is the knowledge that comes down in parampara, seva goes up in parampara. Knowledge comes down in parampara, mercy comes down in parampara, seva goes in parampara up to Krishna. So that is a process that is happening through the disciplic succession. You cannot have a person who is not qualified to do that job. Who ensures that you are qualified? Only the predecessor Acharya should say you are qualified, you do this service. He cannot certify himself, no, I want to do this service now. I want to sit in the chain of disciplic succession. He cannot be. Therefore, Prabhupada hits at the principle of self-made gurus. Guru cannot be self-made. Guru has to be made by authorization. It's not enough if you are qualified. Say, objectively speaking, somebody is qualified. But that certificate cannot be given by him to do the service. That certificate has to be given by his guru. Yes, now you be next in the disciplic succession. So, this kind of a, if somebody is serving a bogus guru, it is perpetuation of this Maya game of Prakriti and Purusha. Might as well marry one woman and or marry and do proper imitation. Look for a very good wife, or a wife should look for a very good husband. Do pakka imitation of Prakriti and Purusha. Why go to a guru and guru surrenders? So you surrender to a guru and guru enjoys as a Purusha. There's a great science. You have to be very, very careful about it. So every instruction that is given by Prabhupada, the things that are taught by Prabhupada is topmost science of absolute truth. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So, according to the constitution, the female body and male body, female body is designed such a way that to give service. Male body is designed such a way to take service.
Not body. Talk about total system.
Total system, yes. So now, if somebody is in the male bodily concept of life, they can render better service than women because they are in the mood of receiving the service. So in case of women, they're in the mood of giving service. They can do better devotional service. So how then man is superior to woman because if he is in the mood of taking service?
That is why now you apply this principle. That is why women should not become guru.
Okay.
Good point you're bringing up. If at all somebody can pass on are designed to take the service,
Yes, bro.
that is man's body-mind system, right? Designed to. Only he has to shift it to Krishna. He shifted to Krishna. Other one is meant for giving. So somebody in a woman's body cannot play the role of a Sadguru. Teacher anybody cannot be. So there's a guru issue is also there in ISKCON, whether females can become gurus. All modern inventions. They say female should give classes, Bhagavatam classes. They're not done. These are not. The person may be very advanced, but those who are listening may not be advanced. The purpose is to give something to the receiver. So individually a person can transcend the bodily concept of life and sit and give a Bhagavatam class, perfect class. It is not that women cannot give a Bhagavatam class, cannot speak from the transcendental platform if they have risen above it. They can. But the Vedic system is set such that, just see, if you try to just imitate that or misapply that and say the women can give Bhagavatam class in the temple. But people who are listening are not. If all are out of bodily concept, man and woman, anybody can can give a class and they can hear. So what is your question? I took out something I wanted from that.
If the design is like that, so actually women can progress more better than men because anyway the body is designed such a way that they can offer service to the Lord.
Yeah.
But the progress of a man is a little obstacle because they're in the mood of...
No, it is not only the spirit of serving. This is a very important point. It is not just because if you develop spirit of serving, you are advanced. Who is missing there? Krishna is
Krishna
missing.
is missing.
So serving Krishna is advancement. Otherwise, Maya is forcing, one is serving the other. Service is going on in this world. That's called Maya Rasa. Whenever in a rasa Krishna is absent, that is called Maya Rasa. So just because somebody in a woman's body has got the proclivity to be surrendered, if that is the case, you can say that all women body mind system must be more spiritually advanced than men. It's not correct.
Yes.
Isn't it? Because they are in ignorance. See, that is why in bodily concept of life, if you are identifying yourself with the bodily concept of life, that is a handicap in that design. In that design, in a woman's body, you are more prone, it requires more escape velocity, you need more potential energy to come out of bodily concept in a woman's body than in a man's body. It is a reality. It's a reality. It is easy for the soul in a man's body to come out of, to escape out of this bodily concept, and difficult for a woman. Reason being, more emotional they are. More emotional means they are connected to the social, I am this body, and the social concept of life. They are very, very much entangled. That is why women gossip more, men gossip less. You see, all this you can make out from this philosophy. Why they gossip more? They are more into social rasa, men less. In general, I am saying. But nowadays, everything is equal, no? Women equally gossip, men equally gossip. Women, there are women who boss over men and take services. And there are men ulta also. So all kinds of, so in other words, actually the border between the male and female, as Kali Yuga goes on, it merges with each other. And that is what we see, gender equality. You see the tendency? Gender equality is towards that. It is not equality of Atma. If it was equality of Atma, it's a great movement. You know, I am not a female, you are not a male, we are equal. I think we should start a movement like that. This is the meaning of real equality.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, you said that accepting service from others is poison. But when we are in devotees community, we need to serve each other. So what do you suggest?
That is why there is a regulated way of doing this. Because service has to be reached. Service has to reach, number one. Number two, every devotee has to learn, if he has to go back to her Godhead, he has to learn how to offer everything to Krishna. So for those who are, you see, it's very easy to keep away from, serving each other. One of the most important principles in Vaishnava philosophy is to serve other Vaishnavas. It requires fine intelligence to understand this. You have to serve other Vaishnavas. And the person and the Vaishnava who is served, he has to face the challenge of offering it to his spiritual master. So, you are asked to freely serve the Vaishnava. And the Vaishnavas are instructed, those who receive service, to offer it to Prabhupada. So ultimately, this practice of proper transmission of service from the conditioned soul reaches to Guru and up to Krishna. Service is essential. We cannot keep quiet, we have to serve. Whom will I serve? So, therefore, this principle of serving the Vaishnava is there, because the one who is being served also learns how to surrender to Krishna. One who serving also will learn how to surrender to Krishna. Ultimately, the principle of bhakti, or all these principles that are there in Vaishnava practices, are meant to teach us to surrender to Krishna. Understand?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, in the same context, like for example, someone has offered the fruits or vegetables to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna, and he is giving me to take that same fruit. So how I can again offer to Prabhupada?
How I can?
Again, the same fruits. I mean, I am taking the service from another devotee, and I have taken that fruit, and how I can again offer that to the Prabhupada?
By eating it. Eating prasadam is a service. When you give something to Prabhupada, offer fruits, so he did service by offering. When prasadam comes to you, you do service as eating, by thanking Prabhupada. In other words, very important thing here. We are eternally dependent living entities. Dependent means we have to receive. But you ensure that you only receive prasadam. Just like Bhagavatam, Prabhupada writes in the purport, the brahmachari will not eat till the Guru asks him to eat. You read that? Till the Guru asks him to eat. See, what is the principle there? So it is not about receiving, taking like that. When something is given mercy, we are dependent on prasadam, we are dependent on knowledge from Krishna, we have to receive knowledge from Krishna, we have to receive everything. If you have to do service to the Lord, you need Shakti. You are receiving. But whatever you receive, you should understand that it is Kripa, mercy of the Lord, for you to reinvest back in the service of the Lord. That loop continues. The activity loop continues. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Like you said that in the Vaishnava community, there is a place for doing service.
Huh?
In the Vaishnava community, there is a place for service. So service is required, so there is a need for service recipient. There is a need for person who receives service.
There is a limitation. You are saying.
Yeah, and a Vaishnava has to give the service back to Guru and Krishna.
Correct.
So, how is it that we say that, or rather, what is the difference between receiving the service as a Guru and receiving the service as a Vaishnava and giving back to his Guru?
There is no difference. The quality will be different. Not quality for the giver. If I serve a Vaishnava as per the system, of course, it's all about regulated. They are coming within the regulated devotional service. That means there is an overall regulation, there are overall rules and regulations. But within that rules and regulation, when you offer service to a Vaishnava, you get 100% benefit for your bhava. If the person who is receiving, any problem in his bhava is there, the problem is for him. Problem is for him. So, the principle of offering service to Vaishnavas is safe within the system. Because that way I say there is a system is because it gives an overall security of abuse. Because we are all sadhakas. So a system is set up by Prabhupada and there is an insurance against overall abuse. In other words, in the process of bhakti, a sadhaka, everything he has to do, he cannot go sentimentally after serving the Vaishnavas. He can go sentimentally after serving Prabhupada. But he cannot go sentimentally, unrestricted, without anything serving other Vaishnavas. He has to serve within the system. Within the system, he sees this guy is going off. You can see with your intelligence what Prabhupada said is going off. He's taking my service and going on an ego trip. Can you keep quiet? It will short circuit the system. So everything with intelligence we have to do as a sadhaka. In the spiritual world, you don't have to do all these checks and balances. Not required. At the same time, attitude of service should be there. If I am always doubting, if I am always negative, there's nobody, I will only serve Prabhupada, I will only serve Prabhupada, all my service, Prabhupada should come and tell me this service. Otherwise, he is frozen now. I do not know whether temple president, what he is saying is what Prabhupada wants me to do or not. So he is in perpetual confusion and he is constantly thinking that he is not serving. Because he doesn't believe that it is going to Prabhupada and Krishna. So there is a check and balance as per the system given, which is nothing but Guru's orders. Like for instance, ISKCON institution Prabhupada has given, there is a check and balance system. Within the check and balance system, we should cultivate the spirit of serving other Vaishnavas. A Paramahamsa is thinking, I am to serve every soul. Right? I have to offer service to every soul. Now, if somebody in an organizational setup, if somebody thinks like that, I have to serve every soul, everything, you'll go mad. Because it's the imitation. You have a system whom you should serve. Your service should go through whom. So it is all part of the Vaidhi Bhakti. You go according to that system and that service will reach. And one day when you become Paramahamsa, then that attitude will come. Everywhere you will see, I want to serve everybody, everybody. The topmost Uttamadhikari. So we cannot imitate also all these things.
Actually, my question was like not only from the service giver perspective, from the service recipient perspective. Like, what is the difference between a Vaishnava receiving the service on behalf of others and giving it to Guru and Krishna, and a Guru who's taking the service? Because
same service. Taking the same service.
Yeah, because in the same discussion, you said that is why it is very important that the difference to understand how difficult is the role of a Guru, you said.
Yeah.
The role of Guru is not easy.
Right.
You said.
So, yeah, I'll tell you. Let's say ISKCON institution was not there. Then it is all connection between one Guru and disciple. No issues. Right? From the question that you're raising, there's no issue. Now you have to render service through others. Whether the service is going properly, whether it is transparently going or not, is your question. Is that your question? If you go to Guru, give to Guru, it goes transparently. If you render service to somebody else, whether it is transparently going to Guru or there could be an obstruction there. Is it what you said?
Actually, my question is about, you said the qualification of a Guru is so important because by nature, Jiva, if it receives service, it is poison.
Right.
So you said that, no, Prabhu?
Right.
And you also said that a Vaishnava has to receive service in a community.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between the qualification of a Vaishnava receiving service from others and a Guru receiving service from so many?
The difference is the Vaishnava who receives service should give to his Guru. The principle is same. Whoever is receiving, if anybody is obligated to receive service, it has to flow into through the parampara to the Lord, the seva. So principle is same. No, he says that's not his question. That's not his question. Transparency is not his question.
Transparency is not the question. The question is like the level of poison, basically. The level of poison. Maybe a Guru can take a big ocean of poison, but a Vaishnava can, a normal...
No.
can take only
Ordinary
little.
Vaishnava is not taking poison at all. He's not taking, he's just passing on the poison. Prabhupada is taking poison, consuming, passing on the service. Others take the poison, pass it on to Prabhupada. Only he has got the potency to digest poison. You take service and poison and give it off. That is the difference between ordinary person. See, that's why the Guru can take that karma. The same. He can take the karma, he can digest that, all those things. And that is one of the reason why it said service has to go through the spiritual master. Because, the spiritual, all the impurities in the devotion service also will get purified. That processing capacity, me and you don't have. Me and you. A Guru has got that capacity. So there is a little difference between what the Guru receives service, takes all the unwanted things away, filters it, gives it to Krishna. When we get the services, when we receive some services, we are not into that filtering process. As it is, whatever it is, with good, bad, everything, it just goes to Prabhupada. And he handles it. So his responsibility of passing on service is different. Our responsibility of passing on service from at our level to Guru is different. We are not receiving the service in parampara. He is receiving in parampara. We are not receiving it in parampara. To receiving it in parampara, you should have the capacity to, you should have pure bhakti, should have the capacity to filter it and pass on the nectar. So that's the only difference I see. Though it looks like, you are offering to Guru and Prabhupada is giving to his Guru, all those things. It's not on the same platform. Here we are getting an opportunity to get trained to receive services. To getting trained not to get puffed up. Getting trained not to take up the position of controller, not take the position of master, not to take the position of enjoyer. Training. And if the person is not in that mood of getting, in that mood of spiritual advance, spiritual progress, then he himself will be, whatever service he'll be receiving, because Prabhupada has told, this is a system, your service will go to Prabhupada. Nobody can stop the service because I am not transparent. My temple president is not transparent, so the service has not gone to Prabhupada. No, service will go, but you are in problem. One who receives the service is in problem. Because he is not in the mood of serving. You may not be in the mood of serving, but somebody serves you on behalf of Prabhupada, it will go to Prabhupada. So you are no loss. The person who served has no loss. The person who received the service, he goes on an ego trip. False ego trip. I got so many followers, I got so many disciples, I got so many things. Ho gaya, finish. Krishna is forgotten, I has come into picture. Jai Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.